There was a time when all these beautiful things were cherished possessions. Now they are heirlooms without heirs. Valuables that have lost their value because they have become divorced from their narrative. They are untold tales, poems in search of a poet. Although family stories are our most valuable heirlooms, the physical objects passed down through the generations are often the schooner on which those stories sail. There is the trunk that your grandfather brought from Ireland, the violin your aunt played on the concert stage, the silver service that survived the Civil War, the painting of your great-grandfather. Just close your eyes and think of those familiar treasures around you and how sad it would be to have them in the possession of strangers. Just as you need estate planning to safeguard the inheritance of your financial assets, you need a legacy plan to preserve your treasured heirlooms. The sum of their stories is who you are, who your children are, and who their children can be. The real value is not always the article itself. It is the story the article tells. But too often these stories have slipped away, are forgotten, or are remembered but not passed on. That's why the Living Legacy Project is designed to help people restore these stories so that they can be passed on with the articles themselves. Quite often we know an article or a painting or an art object is an heirloom, but that's not all we really know. Who owned it first? How was it acquired? Where? And by whom was it made? What were the circumstances of its acquisition? In whose homes has it resided? Finding out is detective work, but when the answers are found, it greatly increases the value of the possession. Answers to these questions can be found in family letters, by interviewing relatives, in art books on similar pieces, on the internet, in antique catalogs. But be forewarned, sometimes the facts don't square with the family legend. The clock isn't as old as Aunt May said. The silver service was made after the Civil War, but this in itself only makes the story more compelling. Once you have gathered as much information on a legacy valuable as possible, make sure the story is written down and affixed to the article so that the item and its story cannot be separated. Sometimes these written stories, together with photos of the heirloom, can be videotaped and transferred to a CD. Just as you would have your estate planner carefully plan for the passing on of your financial legacy, you should make provisions for the inheritance of your family heirlooms. So where will all our legacy valuables be when the spiral glide of time passes us by? Will they be heirlooms without heirs? Or will they still have an honored place in our families, telling their stories, telling our children and their children who we are and who they are? It's your legacy. It's our legacy. Pass it on.